Hey everybody, Spark from Wavescape here with your surf report for the Western Cape for the weekend of the 9th of January 2021. This is going to be my motto for this year. Can't steal our vibe. I think it's going to be a much better year, maybe starting off a little bit shaky, but we live in a beautiful province. The Western Cape is absolutely gorgeous. There's so many cool things to do. We may not be surfing, all of us, all the time, but we will be soon. Let's hope so anyway. Despite the machinations of these little insects running around on the planet called the human race, the weather of course continues. The last couple of weeks I actually took a little time off, but managed to get some footage. And before you jump down my throat, the surfing footage is before the lockdown. But anyway, here goes. Okay, we're back. Obviously this tropical storm up here by Madagascar is not going to mean much to us in the Western Cape, but we've got a procession of storms marching across the ocean south of us, and it produces a steady flow of swell. And tide wise, we're in a neap tide with basically a low tide around 4:45 a.m. and we're moving towards the new moon, 13th of January, which is next Wednesday. Okay, so zooming in a little bit, we have moderate southeasterly winds blowing across the southwestern Cape and light to moderate southeast winds in the southern Cape area, freshening to strong up the west coast, 25 knots or so. Offshores blowing in the eastern Cape due to a small little area of low pressure off the coast, and blowing quite stiff along the eastern Cape and the rest of the western Cape. Swell wise, we've got a 4 foot 12 second swell running pretty much all over the show. A little bit bigger maybe east of Agulhas, and that swell holds all day Friday from that storm that we saw passing us down here, this one actually, and then this new storm is coming along and that's going to produce another swell. But meanwhile, fading swell Saturday, we're still in the 4 maybe 5 foot range. There you can see a little low pressure system creating wonderfully glassy conditions on Saturday from Hermanus all the way through to just west of PE. Very spaced out pressure gradient between the high pressure system that's in the Atlantic and this little low pressure system. Lovely conditions, and as I say, there is a little bit of a 4 foot swell running. Of course, in Cape Town, a southerly is blowing, which is not the greatest wind of all time. In fact, becomes more southwesterly. But along the rest of the coast, those light winds turn southwesterly, going moderate to fresh, and that of course is an offshore wind. So fun waves, if nothing special, all the way along this coastline here. A little bit onshore up the west coast and the southwestern Cape. There's no cloud up until this point, but there is a cold front, very light, tickly cold front, Saturday into Sunday. A band of cloud arrives with very light drizzly showers expected, mostly around the Bredasdorp to Riversdale area west of Knysna, and then Sunday it recedes and goes east. Wind on Sunday, you got moderate southerlies up the west coast, light southeasterlies, light westerlies to northwest land breezes. Swell is kind of nowhere east of Agulhas, pretty small in Cape Town too, after the previous swell has faded into almost nothing, maybe 2 foot, if you're lucky 3 foot. However, during the day, you can expect the slow increase of a new swell from the other storm, the second storm we saw lining up there. By 1 o'clock in Cape Town, in the southwestern Cape, there's a 4, maybe 5 foot swell starting to develop with quite weak periods of 11 seconds. strong south-southeast, but actually enough east in it to possibly turn on the beach breaks and create some good pea green barrels with the very cold temperatures. And of course, along the rest of the coast, as that swell belatedly arrives, so does an easterly onshore arrive. Southeast, 14 knots. And that's not even wind gusts. If we look at wind gusts, yeah, up to 18, 20 knots, and pumping 24 knots. And the more the day progresses, the more south to southeast that wind goes, and reaches near gale force into the evening, pumping up the west coast. Anyway, guys, I think that's about it. Be safe, and let's hope we can be in the water soon. Cheers.